So traders, hello everyone. In this video, I've got something weird for you to show you, okay? While I see one index and a bunch of stocks having a pullback, as in a continuation on the downside, there's also other indices slash sectors slash different markets that I'm seeing that have potentially already sold, or no, have already sold off, that could be getting ready for a big move. So I've got a lot of different dynamics. So I've got one market that looks like it's going to have a real good pullback move over the next couple of weeks, where there's other markets that are giving us potential early warning signs to maybe having a really big move and a really big move coming out of this. So let me get straight into this video. Don't place a trade based on what you're seeing in this video, because there is no guarantees of making a profit in the market. It takes you a long time to become a good trader. So this video here is just to educate you to become a much better trader. Alrighty traders, let's get straight into this video. Traders, see that trading course there on the screen? I'm actually giving away free membership access to that. The very first video you get when you go over there to get membership access, the very first video you get is my video teaching you all about my trading system. So first thing in the description there, guys, go get access to that right now. So here's what I want to do right now, guys. I want to share with you here. Okay, this is quite, check this out. Okay, it's one thing I'm seeing right now by looking at the Nasdaq sector. Okay, the Nasdaq sector and the tech stocks, as we know, the AI bunch, right? The AI bunch has been in a really big up move, right? Really big, extraordinary quality move to the upside, as we can see by looking at this one here, right? We've had a really big up move. Now, as we know, the Nasdaq, because it's already had a really big up move, I believe the markets, the stocks that have had a really big up move, that have made the move what has happened, we're likely to see a really big pullback out of the markets there, right? So we've had a little pullback thus far, 2 or 3%, but I believe that the Nasdaq, because we've already had a really big move up, I believe the Nasdaq is likely to see more downside to come out of that, and the bunch of tech stocks I'm seeing are probably likely to go along with it, right? The AI bunch, so to speak. So if we look at things like Apple, okay? If we look at things like Apple, I'm noticing when I'm seeing with Apple here, if I bring up this screen through here, and let me take you off the screen, okay? And it could quite go there. If we see what's happened with Apple, the key that I'm looking for with Apple, again, I'm looking at the AI bunch, okay? So again, guys, this is the first part of this is about the market come down. The second part of this is the market go up. All right? So we can see what's happened through here, right? We're actually getting a short-term little double top here. But we haven't got confirmation yet. What we need to see and what's going to happen next week out of Apple is if we can get back below this level through here, that will call this a false breakout. And then we will probably likely to see Apple come back down to around about that level through there, because that's that next level through there. I don't believe Apple's just going to have a nice healthy correction, right? That's all it is. Because look at this here. Imagine you breathing, right? Let's actually do this here. Let's actually use, I learned this from Adam Koo, right? So if you guys probably watch Adam Koo stuff, I like to watch his stuff. Not for, just more like educational stuff, right? But I like his breathing and breathing out techniques, right? Because as you know, up, down, up, down, up, down, right? So if you look at this from a breathing technique, right? You're breathing, right? So what happens? You breathe out, and you breathe in, and you breathe out, and you breathe in, right? So look what's happening here, right? So you breathe out, and then you breathe in, and then you breathe out. I need to breathe in. Do you see what I'm saying there? I like that. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. Right? I like that whole analogy. It's like, how do I teach it? Anyway, so I'm running out of breath up here, right? I actually like to use the analogy of a fuel, like a car in a fuel, right? And when the market's doing this here, the car is refueling, but if it goes for a long trip, it's used all the fuel and then it needs to pull back to refuel again. I use the car analogy, but the breathing technique's pretty cool as well too, right? So that's Apple. Let's look at Microsoft. Microsoft is one of those tech stocks that also that I do believe we're likely to start to see this thing breaking back below here. We're starting to fail through here, okay? We got from nice high lows, and then look at this here, up. Look what's happened through here. What's happening right now? See what's happening through here? We actually had one last little push, and then now we've come back down. So there's a really big probability that we're about to see. We could start to see a really big down days in the tech sector moving into next week from here. And that's what we're seeing through there, right? Look at this here, rally back up and now we come back down. So we're probably going to start to see something like that coming out of the tech sector over the next couple of weeks. But just remember, guys, this is what? This is just refueling for probably another big move to the upside. And also you can actually see when we're actually looking at the Microsoft, right? Look what actually happened with Microsoft. Okay, so that was the ultimate high point through there, and we actually rejected it through there. But the main level was through there. See how we actually had resistance through there? Okay, check that out. See that through there? So that we had a lot of resistance all through there. And now, look at this here. This is really, really, really interesting. Notice if I zoom right in a bit more now, okay? Notice how we actually broke above that level and then came straight back below it. Okay, what does that mean? That means that was probably the last final hooray in this overall big bull market, and then we now need a really good correction to flatten this out a bit more, and then we now and then probably see through there. So I wouldn't be too surprised, guys. This is probably the start of that really big pullback that I've been looking for in the tech sector. As I said before, one market go down, one market go up. and the really interesting thing is, traders, is that how do you actually put that in a title? Because I know some people who read the title like, okay, so John says the market's going to crash, but then the market's going to boom. It's like, which one is it, John? Well, they're both, right? Both. So we're seeing things like Microsoft, right, go through there. Now, if we have a look at things like Tesla as well too, right? If we have a look at things like Tesla, look at Tesla's actually had a really big move to the upside. So looking at Tesla, I believe Tesla could start to potentially get a move down towards, there we go. All right, a move down towards, let's make that really thick here and extend it to the right. So we could quite possibly see Tesla come back down towards these levels here. That's that resistance where it's at now. If I bring up my trend line, I'm looking at my support and resistance lines here in the past. So yes, it's probably through there, right? There was also something through there. So there could be something through there, right? And maybe even a bit lower than that. But we could get a nice little, again, to me, Tesla, this is a big move up, and we're about to see Tesla do something like this. And then something like that, right? So Tesla to me is just a short-term pullback before we start to see another really big move to the upside. So Tesla's actually looking really, really strong. Things like NVIDIA, NVDA. If you have a look at NVIDIA, look what actually NVIDIA is doing. All right, what do we have here? We have NVIDIA, this big gap up. Now, NVIDIA is one of those stocks, guys, that's just like, don't short it, don't short it. Don't buy it, right? Look what happened here, right? We gapped up, we pushed down, and we had one last little hooray. But look what actually happened here. What happened here? Look what's happening here, right? We're doing what? We've got now a last little final push to the upside, and now we're probably likely to see a move down towards this here. And then when that happens, we're probably going to get a bit of a bounce from there. And then we're probably going to come down and close the gap to around about that 300 level, maybe even a bit more than that on that through there. If I'm actually looking at possible trend lines where it may get down to, and this actually is, I know this is pretty far-fetched, guys, but this just looking at levels where it actually may get down to, because we're pretty overextended too, right? Through that level through there. And then we also have looking at resistance and support. So probably somewhere through there. That's that major level of support and resistance all through that level through there. So we could get a pullback down towards this level through here over the next, say, couple of weeks to a month. Looking at Nvidia, but Nvidia to me is this is that last little final push, like final hooray out of the tech sector before we start to see this thing start to have a really big move on the downside. So that's what I'm looking at there from, say, Nvidia perspective through there. We looked at Apple, we look at Tesla. If you have a look at things like Meta as well too. Right, so Meta's having a bit of a push to the upside. Again, I do believe we're likely to start to see all these stocks start to really have a big pullback here soon, guys. And it's just that, again, this is the time where you just want to be making sure that you are really lining yourself up with some really good trading opportunities, right? And what I mean by that is just knowing what a really good quality setup looks like. So that's what I'm showing you through there. So basically, the AI sector that's had a really big move, I see a continuation on the downside to come, right? So continuation on the pullback, continuation on the downside before we see another leg up. But we just need another nice healthy correction to balance this AI bubble out. And we're starting to see that slowly starting to burst right now, right? So now, look at this here. Now, when I go down to the good old Dow Jones and I look at the Dow Jones, look what the Dow Jones is actually doing right now, all right? The Dow Jones, when I say one market go down, one market go up, well, the Dow Jones has been pulling back, right? The Dow Jones has been pulling back now 2 or 3%, and we could continue down through here, right? But what I'm looking at here on the Dow Jones perspective is that because the Dow Jones hasn't been going anywhere, right? It's done nothing this whole year. Where tech sector, AI bubble, that's a bubble that's going to pull back. We're probably going to get a rotation now. The massive rotation, which is going to cause the massive rotation that's coming is going to cause one market to crash and then other markets to boom. And so we can see here that if indeed we start to get a bit of a high low here out of the Dow Jones, right? And we start to get something like this, like that, and like that, and like that. If indeed we do start to see something like that out of the markets, then we're probably, once we get this, if we get something like this coming over say next week, then we're probably likely to see Dow Jones make a really big move from there, right? A really big move from there. And what I mean is that, as you can see, right, that if I bring up, yeah, like that through there, right? So if I look up through here, you can see how this was a big, massive, look at that there, right? Look at that there, probably somewhere through there. Yeah, somewhere through there, right? Bam, right? Look what's happening here. Rallied up. We create a higher high, come back down. This could be a higher low here. I don't know. I'm not saying it's going to be, but if it is, and the market does start to move, and we start to get something like this, and we start to get something like this, guess what's coming out of the Dow Jones? We're probably going to see a really big move coming out of the Dow Jones through there. So the Dow Jones, the massive rotation is causing one market to crash while other markets to potentially make a really big move to the upside from there. So that's what I'm looking at there from the Dow Jones perspective there, guys. If I go have a look at, say, some of the actual, the metals as well too, the big thing I was talking about my private clients here, guys, is that one of the most important charts to me is the weekly charts, okay? And look what gold is still doing on this weekly charts. Up, down, higher low, up, down. This actually could be what? Just another higher low before away we go. So we could be getting a bit of a bid coming back into the metals and the miners. Even silver, even though silver's actually had a bit of a sell-off, what is silver doing right now on the weekly chart? The big overall trend thus far. High, higher low, higher high. This could be what? Just another higher low before away we go. Now, obviously, things can change and we don't know, but this is a really big time to be really focusing on this, because we could be getting a bit of a shift, a bit of a massive rotation, and you can start to see all these things come into place. And this is where, guys, we cannot be having a blatant statement, a blatant rule like, oh, market crash, and then like, but which market, right? Because now we're seeing things like the rotation that did cause the AI to probably it's going to probably pull back, and then that's going to pull back and rotate into other stocks, which is going to cause probably S&P and Dow to start to move up. We may even start to get a nice bid back out of the metals and miners as well too. Hey traders, I want to give you free access to my Mastering the Markets trading course. If you go to johnsfreegift.com, here's what you're going to learn in there. You're going to learn the #1 chart reading and trading technique that's been working since the 1950s. You're going to learn the trading boundaries technique that shows you the best and worst time to place a trade. You're going to learn also about price and time phases so you can understand what's going on right now and also what's to come as well too. My #1 powerful short-term income trading system that gets a 90% success rate, the most powerful trading techniques on the planet, the biggest trading mistakes that's stopping you from making an income. You're going to learn all about the super trader formula, plus the 3 secrets to making a full-time income from trading. So this is what I want you to do right now. Go to johnsfreegift.com. Go there right now. Get free access to this trading course. Go get the help. It's 100% free. Go there right now. Go to johnsfreegift.com right now.